Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to wrap up our school movies within an urban setting with the film from the mid-90s called The Substitute, starring Tom Berenger, Ernie Hudson, Diane Venora, Glenn Plummer, Marc Anthony, Sharon Corley, Rodney A. Grant, Luis Guzman, and William Forsythe. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And as I said in the introduction, we're wrapping up our week of school movies in urban settings with The Substitute. And as our movie opens, Jonathan Shale is a mercenary as well as a Vietnam veteran. After a botched operation in Cuba, in which 3 men from his platoon were killed, he returns home to Miami, Florida, and surprises his girlfriend, Jane Hetzko, at her apartment. Now, Hetzko is a school teacher at Columbus High School, an inner-city institution with a considerable gang problem. She is particularly disliked by Juan Lacus, who is the leader of the gang called the Kings of Destruction, or KOD. And while jogging one morning, Hetzko is attacked and has her leg broken. Now, Jonathan and Jane believe that the attack was KOD related, which prompts Shale to go undercover as an Ivy League educated, government affiliated substitute teacher for his girlfriend's class. Shale arrives at Columbus High School under the alias of James Smith and is instantly taken aback by the lowly conditions within the school. He is unable to control his class of poorly educated and poorly behaved students on the first day, but he decides to use his street smarts and military tactics in order to gain the upper hand. Soon enough, he is able to take command of the students by displaying his combat self-defense techniques when the students try to attack him. He is warned, though, by the principal, Claude Rollet, not to use such methods, but he dismisses the request and gains the respect of his students when he bonds with them over the similarities between 50s gangs and Vietnam War experiences and their involvement in petty crime and street gangs. During this time, Smith befriends fellow schoolteacher Darrell Sherman and also cross paths with Lacus, who is one of his students. Suspicious of the odd conditions within the school, Shale decides to set up surveillance cameras throughout the building. He ends up discovering that Lacus orchestrated the attack on his girlfriend, as well as the fact that Lacus is working with Rollet to distribute cocaine around Miami as part of a major narcotics ring. So Shale and his team raid a drug deal and use the money retrieved to buy music and sports equipment for the school in the form of an anonymous donation. Sherman initially denies Shale's discovery, accusing him of racism and attempting to try to tear down Rollet's good name. However, when Sherman and Lisa Rodriguez, a student in Smith's class, inadvertently witnessed the drugs being loaded into one of the school buses later that day, Sherman tells Lisa to warn Smith and Hetzko and sacrifices himself. Now aware of Smith's interference, Rollet orders a car accident for him and sends Lacus after Hetzko. With the help of another student, Sherman is killed by Rollet, while Shale and Jerome Brown, another student in Smith's class, go to save Hetzko by fighting and killing Lacus, before learning the full story from Lisa. Shale and his team then garrison the school grounds in order to combat the remaining KOD members, along with Johnny Glades, a Native American crime lord who wants the money that Shale and his team stole back from the busted deal, and a rival mercenary company that is led by John Janus and Rollet himself. Ultimately, though, Shale and Joey Six, a member of Shale's team, kill all of the dealers and end up as the sole survivors of the battle. They walk away from the school grounds discussing future potential operations as substitute teachers as our movie comes to its end. The Substitute is very much in a similar vein of Dangerous Minds. The movies were only about a year apart in their release, Dangerous Minds being released first in, I want to say, 95, and The Substitute, I believe, was 96. Again, very similar in their makeup, in their storytelling. The main difference, obviously, is that Michelle Pfeiffer's Luann didn't go in there with essentially like a SEAL team trying to shut down the school. She believed in her students' potential and attempted to try to better them with communication education, while Smith, being a mercenary and leading a little bit of a more dangerous life, went in there with intention to shut stuff down and get revenge on his girlfriend who had been attacked. So those are the two main differences. But otherwise, you've got the inner city urban kids. Some of them are gang related, some of them are pushing drugs. The rest of the story is very similar. The soundtracks are also very similar, as they're both very hip hop oriented. Dangerous Minds being responsible for Gangsta's Paradise. The Substitute was responsible for Mac 10 and Ice Cube's Who Bangin'. So both of them soundtracks with iconic hip hop songs from the mid 90s. I think I prefer the storytelling of Dangerous Minds a little bit more to The Substitute, but I prefer the action to The Substitute more to Dangerous Minds. There's definitely pros and cons to both movies. I think you just got to watch them both and weigh out your desires and what you like, what you don't like within the two movies. But again, very similar. When it comes down to my rating for The Substitute, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. I feel like it could have been a little bit more original, a little bit more of a standout. Again, there's some similarities, there's some differences, but I feel like the fact that this movie came out just a year after Dangerous Minds really kind of stunted its potential. If this had come out a couple years later, 97, 98 maybe, a little bit of a different story, but so close to Dangerous Minds, you're going to get the comparison, and it's not necessarily a good one. 3 out of 5 stars for me. Kudos to Marc Anthony, though. The singer played Lacus, the main student villain. Amazing job. Didn't even realize it was him. So kudos to him on that. Definitely the standout performance of the film. Tom Berenger and Ernie Hudson, although the stars really just kind of did their thing. You know, they were Tom Berenger and Ernie Hudson. Luis Guzman and William Forsythe. We talked about Luis Guzman when we discussed Journey to the Mysterious Island. I'll link that up here for those of you that may have missed that review. While William Forsythe, we talked about just recently when we did Dick Tracy during my birthday month. He was Flat Top. And once again, I'll link that one up here in case you missed that review as well. We also discussed William Forsythe last year during my birthday month when I discussed the film Cloak and Dagger, starring Henry Thomas, who is also in E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So we'll link up the Cloak and Dagger review up here as well, so you can check that one out as well. But really strong cast, really strong supporting cast. Kudos again to Marc Anthony. What do you guys think of The Substitute? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Well, let's get out there, have that discussion, that debate, that communication about the film. You know I enjoy that. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And it's new release Saturday. I'll be taking a look at the Amazon Prime original film, The Samaritan, starring Sylvester Stallone, Javon Walton, Dasha Polanco, Palau Aspek, Moises Arias, Martin Starr, and Sophia Tatum. You're not going to want to miss out on that right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, right here on a brand new installment of Renegades Reviews when I take a look at the Amazon Prime original film, The Samaritan. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me here today. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so that you can stay up to date anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Make sure you share this video with your family, friends, loved ones, other movie lovers you know, cinephiles, people who like The Substitute, people who are into Tom Berenger and Marc Anthony and Ernie Hudson and Luis Guzman and William Forsythe. Share this video with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility so that I can eventually get monetized, make some money on this endeavor. Thank you once again to everyone who tuned in and joined me today. It means more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.